Fantastic Four Ties That Bind, Part 3. See how they love each other? We cannot expect any family to solve every problem for every member. But love looks for a way to heal and nurture. This principle is ever at work within the Fantastic Four. Johnny Storm gradually matures because he discovers he can be himself within the dependable safety of his new family. His early days are characterized by rash decisions. The Human Torch is constantly flying off on some ill-considered mission that turns out to be too much for him. As his fire weakens or a villain douses his flames, yet when Johnny's powers fails him, his family does not. When the young hero topples from the sky, invariably his teammates wait to catch him, either in the far-reaching arms of Mr. Fantastic, in the strong hands of the Thing, or in his sister's invisible force field. Perhaps Johnny's juvenile pranks are endless practical jokes, are the teen's way of testing his family, reassuring himself that they'll still love him even when he's unlovable. Susan Storm Richard also grows up in the loving embrace of this odd family. The team members accept and love Sue as she is, but they also challenge her to become more. Empowered by respect and expectations of her partners, the Invisible Girl extends her abilities. At first, Sue's only power is super hiding, but over time she comes into her own as a formidable and heroic figure. Her gifts turn out to be far more impressive than anyone had first guessed. Susan is one of those people who love to love others. The Fantastic Four offers a place where Sue can express her love as a sister, as a friend, a wife, and eventually as a mother. In spite of inevitable spats and hurt feelings, Sue knows she can safely love these people without feeling rejection or betrayal. As the Invisible Girl comes into her own as a person and hero, she finally drops her old name and becomes the Invisible Woman, an apt outward sign of her inward growth. Reed Richards has not entirely shaken off his too serious outlook. He will never be the poster boy for emotional openness. However, over time, the team leader has learned to relax a little. In spite of Reed's occasional miscalculation and blunders, the world is still spinning, thanks to partners who step in to share the load. Johnny and Ben's running feud brings a smile to Reed's face, though he rarely joins in the hijinks. Becoming a father has put Reed in touch with the joys of life, and Susan's persistent love brings him out of his intellectual shell. The bitter recriminations Ben Grimm's once aimed at Reed have turned into good-natured needling, as the Thing has forgiven Reed Richards for the accident that deformed him. Perhaps Reed is beginning to forgive himself. Well, Mr. Fantastic is the most gifted member of the group. One suspects that Reed Richards would have lived an emotionally barren life if not for his membership in this ragtag family. Benjamin J. Grimm has found a home in the Fantastic Four. Even before his disastrous rocket flight, Ben was an angry, bitter man. In his youth, Ben saw his brother killed in gang warfare, and for a while the bitter young man became a gang leader himself. In a sense, the cosmic radiation merely manifested the outward, the ugliness already infected Benjamin Grimm. Inwardly, although Reed has never been able to turn his friend back to normal, belonging to the Fantastic Four has been a transformative experience for Ben. Here is a family that accepts him in spite of his warts, both inner and the outer varieties. I've lost count of the number of times the Thing has flown into a rage and Reed Richards has wrapped his rubbery body around his old friend to keep him from doing damage he will regret. I've always suspected the Thing could easily break loose from Reed, but secretly longs to be restrained. He wants to be hugged into submission by people who care about him regardless of his fury. Acceptance by his friends has allowed the Thing to accept himself. Indeed, the Thing is a powerhouse of the group, and he takes pride in the strength that allows him to do his share. Who knows how vast the strength might have been misused if not for the influence of his friends. Both the Hulk and the Thing are strategically staggeringly powerful, and both are monsters in the eyes of the world. Perhaps Ben Grimm's story turns out better than the Hulk's because he is not alone. The Thing belongs to a family. In the New Testament, the idea of family is the most persistent way of describing the church. The first believers called each other brothers and sisters, the sons and daughters of our Heavenly Father. Baptism was a rebirth into the family of Christ. Paul describes the church as the household of God, and at other times shifts his point of view to picture the church as the bride of Christ. The first worship services took place in homes centered on gathering at a table. Even more, the symbolic trappings, the early church behaved like a family. All who believed were gathered together and had all things in common. They would sell their possessions and goods and distribute the proceeds to all as any had need. Day by day they spent much time together in the temple. They broke bread at homes and they ate their food with glad and generous hearts. Acts chapter 2 verses 44 through 46. One ancient commentator summed up his impressions of the church in a few words. See how they love each other? And that is the end of part 3. We will be back for part 2. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and please comment. And make sure you're still subscribed as well. And share this out. Have a great and wonderful day.